What were your first impressions of? I mean, at one point Duke is playing, 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores in the lineup. Texas a little bit older, more physical, and Duke struggled to that first half, but ended up getting a 15-point win. What's your assessment of the Blue Devils night one?
Well, a couple of things. One is Isaiah Evans. I actually picked him to be first team All ACC, and like he's one of these guys that Shire hasn't had. And he didn't have it last year. I thought he had maybe had it a couple of years ago, but right off the top of my head, like you're going to have to live with some bad ones because some of the shots that he's capable of making are just out of this world good. He ended up very efficient tonight, 7 of 13, 4 of 8, and 5 of 6 from the free throw line. But the thing is like 3 of those threes he hit in the first half were not easy looks. And they could be questionable as far as shot selection is concerned. But I'm saying this as a compliment. He has the ability to knock those down. I'm not going to say consistently because they're very, very difficult. Even the NBA players, the best ones, I have a hard time hitting fadeaways from the corner, running away. But he has that ability to change the course of a game or keep his team in the game. So that's number one. Isaiah Evans is really, really good, and you're going to have to live with some crazy ones, and you're just going to have to try to taper it down at certain points during the ball game. Point number two, I'm applauding Cam Boozer because he started off pretty rough, and he ended up what he ended up going for the game. He ended up with 15 points, 3 of 12, 9 of 12 from the free throw line. In the first half, he was 0 of 7, 0 of 1 from the 3, 0 of 3 from the 3, 0 of 1 from the foul line. Second half, he kind of stayed with it. He stayed consistent. You could see a little bit of it whenever they went and I kind of say scrimmage Tennessee. They went down to Knoxville and they played Tennessee. Like he is relentless in how he attacks you. And in the second half, Texas got a little tired. And then what happened is that physicality that was rearing its head in the first half turned into slow feet a little bit in the second half, and they got caught. And Cam Boozer, because he is just relentless and doing the same thing and staying solid, he ends up getting to the free throw line a lot and ending up turning the game around for Duke to help them kind of get off on their way. Duke's very good. I feel like we're going to end up comparing this year's team to last year's team. We shouldn't do that. I felt like last year's team was one of the all-time great teams in college basketball, even though they didn't win. This year's team is a top 10 team in college basketball. And you look at it, they won by 15 points over Texas, and you didn't feel like they played all that well. That's where the room to grow is too. So that's positive.
Tyler, what are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, my first thought, if Texas could score, I think they might have won this game. I think Texas played really well defensively. I thought they were physical. I even felt like they played pretty disciplined, but they struggled scoring the ball. And then I think in the second half, I saw them take some, not great looks, a couple feet behind the three-point line. But I will say this, Texas had everything they wanted. Cam Boozer had an awful first half. Then he turned it around the second. You knew it was just a matter of time. And the one player from Duke that I think is going to make a big impact that impressed me was, hopefully I get his name right, the big guy, Ngongba. I think he has length.
There you go.
Yeah. Got it right.
Look at you, JT. You've been in media, man. You've been in media. Man, this is a big deal right here. Like that's big time.
It's growth.
You gotta call you professor. Yeah, go professor. Do your thing.
Yeah. I feel like he's going to get better and better. When I do look at Cam Boozer, the one thing that I will say is that's going to make a big difference for him. When I was watching him post up, his post ups weren't in scoring position. And I played against his dad, Carlos. Carlos was the best at just ducking in and getting right under the basket, getting the ball going right up. Doesn't allow the defense there to really double or triple team you or collapse on you. It makes it a lot easier. I think once he figures that out and learns how to get better position in the post area, I think his game's going to really kind of open up for him. But you can't post up kind of in between the lane and the three-point line against bigger physical guys because it allows the defense to kind of get to you. It makes it a lot more difficult to kind of maneuver and make a post move. But, Duke looked a little rusty to me. I think they're, kind of the first game jitters. I think they're a much better team than what they showed tonight.
Go, Mike.
Yeah, I think, T.O., you hit on it. There's naturally going to be the comparisons to last year's team, and I'm in agreement with you. That's in my lifetime. That's one of the most complete teams I've seen. that Duke team last year. And I think what this team showed tonight that was similar to that team was that team last year just had, sans the last 3 minutes of the Final Four. They had incredible resolve, and they were so methodical with the way they went about winning games. And it was just possession by possession. I don't think this Duke team has that same knockout punch that Duke team had, but they can still win games methodically, like run their continuities, get Boozer on a cleared side, maybe force a double to make him a decision maker. I thought Shire, despite Boozer struggling in that first half, first play of the second half is what he ran multiple times in that second half, just like a wedge action at the elbow with a guard setting an up screen to get Boozer. Deeper catch, as Tyler alluded to, get that deeper catch. Because in the first half, he was trying to do a lot of stuff off the bounce, and Texas was so gapped up, not allowing him, shrinking the floor, making sure that he always felt a second body. They rarely sent a second body, but he felt a second body. But I think even though he struggled, and even though he struggled from the field tonight, he ends up with 15 and 13, but he's just so additive in other areas. I mean, even in the first half, it's his ability to switch 1 through 4. I know they don't switch much with Gomber. Malik Brown does. But his ability to switch, he had 3 steals in the first half. He still rebounds at a high level. That second jump that he has off the floor is quicker than a lot of players. He's long, he tracks, he's got great hands. So I think all these freshmen are going to struggle from the field at some point. It's just natural. It's going to happen. Can you remain additive? And I think that's what makes Cam Boozer, in my opinion. And when he finds himself like he did in the second half, that's how Duke blows open the game. And then last point has to be Isaiah Evans. I just we'll probably talk about Florida a little later. Florida needs an Isaiah Evans, someone that can just kind of wreck a game. Because that's exactly what happened. This game was in the mud in the first few minutes, and he pulled it right out of the mud with his flurry of threes. And I think a light bulb is going to go off for him later in the season, or hopefully soon, that he can start driving long closeouts and get downhill. I think he's slippery. I think he's athletic. That's just going to be another facet of his game he expands. And when he does, that just makes this Duke team more dangerous.